There's something uniquely satisfying about a game that blends strategic depth of a roguelike deck builder with genuinely charming art. With today's explosion of deck builders, the Royal Rit delivers on the tried and true formula beautifully. The moment I first booted up the Royal Rit, I was hooked. Right from the menu screen, its wonderful art and whimsical creatures really drew me in. In the beginning of the game, we are told of a tale of a once great kingdom ruled by a bird whose best course of action to deal with the bandits roaming his lands is to send a small group of soldiers to deliver him a stern letter. The most interesting aspect of the Royal Writ is the way it approaches dealing damage. Rather than having damage and defense cards, they've gone with an addition and multiplication system where we have units that have straight power and units that buff that power. It reminds me of a warrior and mage dynamic. While these missions may sound relatively straightforward, it's the ever-changing battle layout that takes place on 1 to 3 rows with tons of hazards to look out for that keeps me intrigued and pushing on to beat the final boss. In my playtime, I learned to loathe the red ant hill, trying my best to avoid them when necessary to escape the red ants that would haunt my deck for the rest of the game. These red ants give you negative points, and yes, you can kill them, but I like to choose the easy path and just avoid them. And there are a plethora of hazards, from poisonous swamps, traps, and even an improvised bridge, each giving your card special unique effects. One of the reasons this works so well is the game's death mechanic, where once a card reaches the end of its row, it meets its demise, and losing one of your most powerful buffing cards because I simply forgot to look at how long the row is devastating. This happened to me on a few occasions because of my own hubris. But it's this mechanic that really makes it fun and intriguing and really adds to the replay value and keeps you on the edge of your seat when you get ever so close to the end of the row. The Royal Writ, while being a deck builder by definition, for me, it evokes something more. During my playtest, I felt more like a general, deploying my troops onto the battlefield, each with a specific role. This is where the Royal Writ excels. Every character has distinct abilities, and when you nail that combo and the synergy hits, I'm in dopamine heaven. From nuns that get more powerful the less gold you have, a drunk frog that gets more power the closer he is to death, and my favourite character, the Bomb Maker, that has a 2 in 100 chance to wipe out all of your cards with that sweet 50% chance to get more power. One of the slightly horrific tactics I found was when I discovered the Duke of Ernak, which I had to sacrifice 2 cards to even get him, as he gains power whenever a card dies. It was a couple battles time where I realised one of my cards, the Fearful 8, has 8 lives, which could only mean one thing. Another really fun tactic is becoming the Lord of Ants. Playing ants with other ants increases their buff, which unlocks a truly unstoppable force. It's moments like these where I find myself caring about the cards I have, grateful that they are not just a sword and shield icon with defense and attack stats. While traversing through the game, like most roguelikes, there is an ever-changing map with an array of bizarre and fun minigames to help you on your playthrough. From sacrificing your favourite creatures, visiting the dentist, or even watching a horse race, I never found myself lacking for options on each run. The key location I'd always be excited to visit was the shop. While probably the most basic location on the map, there's always that time after almost losing a battle where you need to replenish all of your troops, and it's this time where it's really fun to strategize and find new synergies and exploits you can use, as well as the relic system, which gives us permanent effects and buffs on each run. After battling my way through the map, I discovered one of the first bosses, Robert Hawker, the bandit leader we've been searching for, with his special ability to shoot arrows every second turn, which unfortunately damages our cards. This is a really fun and simple way to introduce one of many of the boss mechanics. Now, I won't spoil all of them for you, but here is my absolute favourite. It is the Dance Master Lovash, where as soon as we place our first card, we are locked into his dance, where the turn will only end at the end of every major musical beat. And I was just simply hypnotised by this clapping goose. Nearing the end of my playtime, I felt like I'd mastered my favourite strategies. It was time to turn up the hardships and try out the challenge modes. Now, while I can't show you all of the options, this is where I had some of the most fun in the endgame. But it's worth saying all the footage you've seen in this video is from the demo, which is the first 3 map zones in only Act 1. With this sprawling game, there are so many different synergies to uncover, I never found myself truly playing the same way. Royal Rit is one of my favourite roguelites, and I can highly recommend it.